I want every campaigner to be confident that they are equipped with the arguments to hit the streets, the doors and the phones, knowing that they can be proud of Labour's record in the European Parliament, and knowing that Labour plans for a Europe that acts on issues that matter most. And you know, we do have a good story to tell, whether it be protecting people at work with better health and safety, whether it be protecting consumers with cheaper mobile roaming charges and safer food, whether it be maternity and paternity provision, or environmental protection such as cleaner beaches, cleaner water and of course climate change measures.
But why were we not saying, why don't we say you've had your mortgages reduced by hundreds of pounds, in some cases thousands by a year? Why? Because of an economic policy brought about by a Labour government that chose to reduce the interest rate. So let's get back to fighting. Here's another one, and I'll give you the finish on this one. Typical Tory rubbish. It's a bill to be presented to the House of Commons. Now you recall it was a Labour government that brought in minimum wage, one that we agreed also with their Europeans, right? That was a major change. It lifted millions out of poverty, right? Many of them women in jobs, right? They come up with this bill. It's typical, you know, it's called Employment Opportunities. It's for a Mr. Christopher Chope on the 15th of May to introduce his bill. His bill was indeed in the 60th anniversary, he says, of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. They vote against it every time. They hate the human rights. Anyway, he wants to celebrate it, and then you find out what he's suggesting is you've got to abolish the Minimum Wage Act. And that's a bill for it. But could you believe it? You know the reasons given? Because it offends against the individual worker's human rights. He says a worker should have a right to work for less if they want. You know, as if the employer and the employee are equal balance. If they were, we wouldn't have wanted to have a minimum wage act. It would have lifted millions out. It's that hypocrisy which the Tories are about. So let's get on the, whatever the policies are, whatever Cameron says on one area and these other people do another, we have to expose that. So we're into an election of 12 months. That's what it's about. And if we want to win, yes, we'll win on our record. I've pointed it out. We've every reason to be that. We'll win on everybody goes around at the market squares that I've been going to. They know Gordon's leading us the way out of this difficult. Won't be easy. It's not over. But when President Obama and other countries say it was Gordon Brown who brought us together to start the process of surviving from the worst recession, surely to God the man must have credit for that. And I have to say to some of my colleagues who are moaning on the running side, first of all, they were the same people who did it in September, right? I mean, Charles, for example, moaned then, and then he apologised, said I got it wrong, John, he said, you know, and that was a month ago. And I just said, oh, that's lovely, Charles, yeah. Oh, blimey, we get into stormy water and they come out the woodwork again, don't they? Listen, May the 1st was about solidarity. That doesn't mean yes or no at any price, but it does mean this. You don't feed the Daily Mail, you don't feed the Telegraph, you don't feel the enemies of Labour Party. My answer to it on today's programme is stop complaining and start campaigning. I wouldn't mind if they were campaigning and making Labour's message, but they're not. So I hope they'll learn the lesson. That it's a 12-month election period if we go right to the end. We've got the best man to do the job. We've got the right values and principles that we delivered. A Labour government couldn't have a better record. I've fought for Labour in my 40 years in different elections, and in half of them I've had to apologise. And I'm sorry we didn't get what we wanted, or the IMF were being tough with us. This time, we have delivered. We've had 3 terms. We're entitled to ask for that support. We've got the best man in the job dealing with the global problems and global solutions, and at the heart of it is a basic value, that is our values. But we're not arguing that case.